Welcome back to the channel. Today, tonight, whenever you're watching this, we are back to working on the Challenger. Like I said, we are working on the Challenger. We have some more parts to put on today. The important one we've been looking for over a year, and that is this quarter patch for the passenger side between the front of the rear wheel arch and the door. I've been looking, like I said in previous videos, for new reproduction parts from AMD, from Jegs, from anywhere that has Mopar stuff. And they've all been discontinued or permanently back ordered, which has left me to scavenging the internet in other places, unsavory places like Facebook Marketplace where I've been scammed, and finally found a place, Wildcat Auto Wrecking or Wildcat Mopars out in Oregon, and Vanessa and the team hooked us up with just the exact part I needed. So I want to again shout them out. If you're looking for parts, they've got a pretty good inventory. It'd be fun to go do a walk around out there, but they're kind of a ways away from Minnesota. Otherwise, yeah, check them out if you're looking for Mopar stuff. Just check out their website. I'll drop a link below. They've got lots of stuff. Before we get going too far, I want to point out this air compressor behind me here. Campbell Hausfeld 5-horse, 12 CFM at 40 pounds and 9.5 CFM at 90 pounds. So down here in the shop, that's going to be great for our sandblasting and priming. Still going to have to run up to the house or garage for putting down base and clear with the other compressor setup. But this is going to be a huge win down here. And a couple of weeks ago, my buddy we were all messaging, chatting online, and buddy said his parents were downsizing, and his father's a car guy and did not want to move the compressor when they were downsizing, and wanted it to end up somewhere where it would be used and taken full advantage of. So the price to me was the cost of transport. So I wandered out there a couple Saturdays ago, loaded it up in the back of the pickup, brought it here, had it wired in, and now we've got air down here too. So very pleased for that. So thank you to my buddy and his family for that contribution here to the shop. It's going to be very much appreciated and well loved and well used. So let's get back to the point at hand. We have, like I mentioned, this quarter patch that's going to go in down here, kind of from here about to here. So we've got to go ahead and mark and cut out the old bad stuff, which is pretty easy to see. And went and did some prospecting on the rest of the panel just for fun, because I kind of knew what I was going to find. And here is more warping and wavy stuff. So maybe I can tap some of this out from the backside with the dolly and the hammer, which is my hope. The rest of the metal looks pretty good there. Down here, I understand there was some fabrication done, and I'm finding a lot of filler. Kind of thinking that maybe they should have been a baker instead with as much frosting as is on here. But hey, we won't say anything more than that, because we all start somewhere. Truth be told, I had a '93 Ford Explorer way back in the day that rusted out, or starting to rust out around the fuel door and the rear dog leg for the back door. So being, I don't know, 20, said, oh yeah, let's do this in the garage of my apartment. It looked pretty good. Rattle can from the auto store, a little bit of body filler. Didn't really know what I was doing, but you know what? We all come a long way as we learn and evolve. So that's what kind of this is all about, right? Learning, evolving, doing something new, gaining experience, and more importantly, having fun doing it. Because when it's not fun anymore, why do it? Yet so many of us still work day jobs. Oh wait, we have to eat. Anyways, let's go ahead, figure out where our new part goes and start cutting bad stuff out. All right, well, I'm kneeling down here on my pad and my knees hate me, so I don't know how long this is gonna last until I resort to the office chair behind me. But what I wanna do is set this up where it goes. It's nice because it's got a fill, got a contour right where it goes, so it's not like I can really screw this up for placement too bad. But it is me, so there's always room. But what I wanna do is take a magnet and I'll hold it in place roughly where it's going to go, like that. And look along the side here. This also is fitting down into the seam here where the panel is, and the panel will go. Kind of follow along here. You can see the line here over the wheel arch. Matches up. Down here at the bottom, things are matching up. You can't see because my head's in the way. And really the only concern I have is that this panel seems to be a little flatter than the car. And I think, I'm stuck on a piece of bad metal. Yeah, look at that. Let me get that out of there. Put you back. So I've got about 3/8 or half an inch down here inside the wheel well that's popped out a little bit. But when we get everything on, start getting things welded back in place, we'll be able to massage that and get that right where it should be. For right now, I want to go ahead and just take my Sharpie, make a line where I'm going to be making my cut, or very close to where I'm going to be making my cut. Oops, I just penned myself. Won't be the first time, won't be the last. And what I want to end up doing is take my grinder and cut through here, but I want to cut just a little bit low because I want to make sure I don't take too much material off to leave a gap up here when it's all said and done. So that's my goal now. I'm going to go ahead, put on the earphones, crank up some music, and just start cutting this away. I'm going to have to take off the wheel because there are spot welds inside the wheel arch, so I'll get to that as well. So sit back and enjoy, or fast forward for about 1.5 minutes. We'll be here. All right, well, we've taken a chunk out of this, and I didn't want to cut all the way up. I didn't want to cut into the corner here, where I've got some more structure in a structure. I want to just take that off gently. I've got to take some spot welds out here and just kind of peel it away. I'm not in a hurry. I don't need to go whacking and hacking on things. The same over here on the wheel well side. And as I kind of expected, there's some more unplanned ventilation inside, so I am also going to have to address that, it seems. So we'll cut out, maybe take out this window tray, window regulator. It's also why I didn't want to go whacking in here, is because I looked inside and I've got all the structure for the rear window. So need to be careful about that. But yeah, I've got this bit of yeah, it could use some help. So I'm gonna try, like I said, try and take this window assembly out and cut and patch in there. Because again, I don't need to section the entire car for this little bit. That seems a little wasteful. Everything else in here looks pretty good. There's a little bit of surface crusties down in here. We can clean those up and put some rust converter on there and call it good. But we've got all this good stuff down here. So I've got to take off the wheel, work my way around this wheel well. I know I've got some more crusties in here. Overall, it's pretty solid, just down here at the base where it's been rusting and collecting. So that's my next plan of attack, is to go ahead and finish taking this stuff off. So let me do that and get this hole trimmed to fit, and we'll see about fitting in our new panel and seeing if my measurements or my Sharpie marks were correct. Well, we have made some pretty good progress so far. Let's take a look. Look at that. Perfect, right? Welded in, we're done. No, not quite. While it looks good from the outside, there is some work left to do on the inside. Let's take a look. First of all, I've got to square up this line here with the panel. Let's take our magnets off. Well, we can do it that way too. We got this cut off. This area here needs to be cleaned up a little more, but we've got the spot welds ground off. Down here on the pinch weld, a little bit more cleanup to do. We've got a lot of those spot welds off and metal off. And I will say that compressor behind me kicks some serious butt. It's nice to be able to actually use an air tool and keep your pressure building instead of just petering out to nothing like the other little pancake compressor I've got down here out of the camper, or the 10+10 system I've got up in the garage. Just the higher CFM, definite win. So that's a positive. The negative is we've still got to clean this up, like I said, so I'm going to try and get in and get this window assembly off camera, get it out, and work on cleaning this up and getting some new metal in here. If not all new, at least a patch in here, because this still feels pretty solid. If I can not mess with this, that would be great. So we'll just see what we can do. But again, I'm not replacing the entire section, so we're just going to build this back better. The not better part is around the inside of the wheel well. There's some material missing there, and it's right here in my hand. Now, this should fit right in here, kind of like this, but it's kind of crusty, so we're also going to have to patch in this area and build back the inner side of this wheel well as well. That's going to be some time I was not planning on. I half expected it, but I wasn't planning on it. So more inner work to do. But the bonus for me is that the panel is here. We can work with this other stuff. We can cut out the bad stuff, put in new stuff. May have to make a run to the store for more metal, but hey, we can at least start getting the metal back on, cleaned up, patched in, whatever you want to call it, so we can put this other quarter panel piece back on and button up this side of the car. Now, of course, there's more work to do on the quarter panel itself beyond just this little patch. But at least getting this part cut out and replaced is going to go a long way to getting this side of the car done and ready for body work, filler, paint prep. And that's kind of what I'm aiming for, is getting all this rusty, crusty metal out of here as we can find the parts. So I am going to call it an evening for now, go spend a little time with the better half, and we'll come back and start working on getting some of that other rusty crusty stuff cut out and put back in with some nice new shiny stuff. We're also going to go ahead and throw some of that rust inhibitor, the Eastwood rust inhibitor, in here in this cavity. I don't have any cavity wax, but I'm more concerned about throwing the rust inhibitor or rust converter on the inner structure for right now versus anything else, just so we can stop and prevent or slow down what's already there. So for now, since I apparently can't talk, we'll call it a night and we'll come back in the morning. Okay, it is the start of a new day. Well, middle of a new day for me. Got up, made the family breakfast, waffles, sausage. Yeah, I guess that was it. Anyways, there and there, I'm out here. And you're with me, so too bad, you're stuck with me. We've got two things to work on. I'm gonna do a lot of it off camera just because it's gonna be a lot of fiddling around, fabricating, cutting, probably saying some interesting vocabulary, and hopefully coming up with a decent finished product. Now, may have to end up making a run to the land of the Happy Tool Store place, Harbor Freight. I do need to get a little break, probably. Well, I need one anyways, but for down here, we'll see. And somebody here. Oh, that was the local mail carrier. Let's see what we got. Wasn't really expecting anything today, but hey, let's see. What do we got? Oh, look at that. This is, ooh. That's my oil. Yay! Oil change time, but no filter yet. So, oh well. Guess I could run down to the store and pick up a Wix or some not OE brand for the X5. So we'll wait for a couple of days for the man filter to show up and we're good to go. All right, back inside. Most importantly, the packages get to the right place. So, where was I? Oh yeah, Harbor Freight. Gotta go get a little bench brake. I should get an English wheel because we've got an upcoming project which will probably need it, so stay tuned for that. But for right now, we've got two things to work on. Like I was saying earlier, we've got this area needs to be cut out and replaced with some better metal. It's not quite as crispy. It's still rather solid up in here, so I'm gonna try and preserve as much as I can. But the bigger part is the front part of the wheel well is missing from over here. So this fits in right in here. So what I'm going to do is try and temple it out pretty much from here down and make a new piece. I don't have anything to make this tight of a bend, or am I going to try? So I'm going to try and just weld that together, make that look decent. Again, it's on the inside, so no one's going to see it behind the panel, but I know I don't have the right tools to make this bend, so I'm not even going to attempt that. This here should be pretty easy to do. Cut out. If I get a chance to pick up a brake today or tomorrow, I'll just make this bend here. Otherwise, I'll just make a weld along here and call that good. But like I said, that's going to be a little bit of fabricating, a little bit of tinkering, and a bunch of stuff off camera because really nobody wants to see me sit and struggle with this for the next 2 or 3 hours. So I'm going to get these parts made, maybe drop in a few bits and pieces along the way. But when they're all done and ready to go back in the car, we'll return. Well, gang, we've made some progress. I cut out all this bad stuff here, down in here, this as well. Made a new panel here, went out and got a cheap Harbor Freight brake, and you get what you pay for. But it got the job done. Got a new piece in here, which we fabricated up. And this is all gonna be hidden away anyways from this front quarter patch, so I don't know why I spent so much time trying to make it all pretty, but you can see down here, I sort of remembered, oh yeah, this is all hidden. Anyways, I cleaned out this area back here too, did not take it out. It was solid, just some surface rust. So I threw on some of the Eastwood rust encapsulator on everything here. And we've got our panel right over here, which fits on here quite well. Quite a bit of trimming and fitting to make everything right. But overall, I've got a little bit of a gap here that I'm not as pleased with. But everything else here fits really well. This edge here right below the ground strap pulls out a little, but I've only got 2 hands. So once we pull this out to match up with the body, we're gonna be pretty good. So my next game here is I'm going to drill some holes. I'm going to plug weld this. I don't have room, of course, along the door jamb to get the pinch welder in there. And along the back side here by the fender well, or the wheel well, I can't, there's not enough room to get my pinch welder in back there either. So I'm just going to go drill out a couple of holes here on the front and back and the bottom. And we're gonna get to spot welding this thing in and wrap the video up. Okay, we're about ready to get rolling here. I've got the panel set on here. I can't use my, my butt clamps because they'll fall into the abyss down here, which I'll never see again. So I've got these started. I'm gonna put a couple of tacks up here. I'm gonna get 1 or 2 of these plug welds in over here. And then I can start working my way around this side here to pull this corner in. And then work on the bottom. So kind of work our way kind of this way and that way towards this side, get it pulled in and get everything put together. So we're just gonna get to it. Alrighty folks, well, I'm kind of relaxing in the chair because as you can see, we've got that quarter patch installed behind me. And yeah, there is still some metal work to do, some grinding off of the welds, a little bit of final touch-up. But the rest of the car, we've got a long ways to go before we're looking at paint or even primers. So I'm not terribly concerned about that at the moment. The important part is it's on and it fits. I did run into a little issue down under here, and there's some lead that I did not catch. So trying to weld that didn't work too well. So I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do down there. Otherwise, it's on and it looks pretty decent. My contour here looks pretty darn good. And like I said, it's going to take some more cleanup to do for some of the welding, you know. But it's going to be on. It's going to be rust free. And like you saw, I did put rust inhibitor everywhere behind this panel. Metal, no filler. That's what I like to see. So that's going to be a good, good place to start to get that looking good again, trued up. Now, I could have gone and showed you all the process going through, but it was a lot of start and stop. Had to run and grab the kids some daycare, had to do supper, do the dad thing for a while. And really, we've done enough welding on this thing, so you probably didn't need another time lapse to watch in this video. There'll be plenty more of those coming. But for now, I'm going to wrap this one up. It's, for me, late on Friday night, and for me to get this to you tomorrow morning, I've got to go in and get this edited for you. So yeah, until the next video, we've got, well, there's something new behind me. So if you want to check out what that is, hopefully next week, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not, and of course, turn on that post notification bell to make sure you are notified whenever we put out content and new cars like that thing. See you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.